Why would a player at the absolute peak of his powers with multiple championships under his belt just walk away from it all? Ken Dryden had the shortest yet most significant career in NHL history, retiring at age 31 while still dominating the sport. But this wasn't about injury or decline. It was something much deeper, a rejection of a life he had completely mastered. To understand this baffling decision, you have to understand the unique mind of the man behind the mask. Ken Dryden wasn't just a goaltender, he was a scholar, a thinker, someone who challenged every boundary of what an athlete could be. Born in Hamilton, Ontario in 1947, Ken's early life was shaped by one crucial family principle. Academics remained the top priority in the household. When Ken was 5, his father Murray had a large portion of their backyard paved and installed regulation hockey goals at each end, creating a year-round training ground. But this wasn't just casual play. It was a laboratory for disciplined development, where Ken and his older brother Dave honed their skills against neighborhood competition. While this rigorous athletic focus was impressive, it was always counterbalanced by an even stronger emphasis on education. This dual focus framed Dryden's development not as choosing between sports and school, but as a challenge of integrated excellence, a philosophy that would guide his entire life. The most revealing decision of Dryden's early life came in 1964. After a standout junior hockey career, he was drafted 14th overall by the Boston Bruins and immediately traded to the Montreal Canadiens, the most storied franchise in hockey. The conventional path was clear. The Canadiens wanted him to play for their junior A team while attending Trent University. But Dryden rejected this established route. Ignoring scouts who believed he was discarding an NHL career opportunity, he made the uncommon choice to accept a scholarship to Cornell University, an Ivy League institution. This wasn't just about preferring a particular school, it was a foundational act of self-determination. As a teenager, Dryden asserted his own values over the prescribed development model of hockey's most powerful organization. At Cornell, his decision was immediately and emphatically vindicated. In his 3 varsity seasons from 1966 to 1969, his performance was staggering. He compiled a record of 76 wins, 4 losses, and 1 tie. Cornell lost only 4 of 83 games with him in goal. His individual statistics were equally remarkable. A 1.60 goals against average and a school record 0.939 save percentage. He was named a first-team All-American in each of his 3 seasons and backstopped Cornell to 3 consecutive championships, culminating in the 1967 NCAA National Championship. His coach perfectly captured what Dryden had achieved, describing him as a splendid student, as a history major, a brilliant goaltender, and an excellent team player. His academic pursuits weren't just parallel activities. They were integrated into his development. Dryden later credited his history studies with shaping his understanding of narrative, context, and connection. This academic lens explains his unique perspective and his ability to zoom out and see the bigger picture, a skill that was already being applied in the crease. Ken Dryden's entry into the NHL was as unconventional as his journey there. Called up by the Canadiens late in the 1970-71 season, he appeared in just 6 regular season games, but posted a flawless record, 6 wins and a minuscule 1.65 goals against average. Coach Al McNeil made the bold decision to name this unproven law student his starting goaltender for the playoffs, replacing veteran Rogie Vachon. The challenge was immense. Their first-round opponent was the Boston Bruins, who had dominated the regular season. Yet Dryden became a fortress in pads, backstopping Montreal to a stunning 7-game upset and leading them through 2 more series to capture the Stanley Cup. For his spectacular performance, the 23-year-old won the Conn Smythe Trophy as the most valuable player in the playoffs. This created a unique statistical anomaly because he had played too few regular season games to qualify for rookie status. He won the Calder Memorial Trophy as the league's top rookie the following season. Winning the playoff MVP before you're even officially a rookie is almost unheard of. What do you think is the most impressive debut season in sports history? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoy stories about athletes who broke the mold, make sure to subscribe to the channel. To this day, Dryden remains the only player in NHL history to win the Conn Smythe Trophy before being named a Rookie of the Year. This sequence perfectly captures his entire career. He consistently inverted traditional timelines and defied conventional expectations. Over the next 8 seasons, Dryden established himself as the most dominant goaltender of his era. In just 397 regular season games, he amassed a record of 258 wins, 57 losses, and 74 ties, an astonishing 0.743 winning percentage. He maintained a career 2.24 goals against average, a 0.922 save percentage, and recorded 46 shutouts. His trophy case expanded rapidly. He led the Canadiens to 6 Stanley Cup championships in total. He was awarded the Vezina Trophy as the league's top goaltender 5 times, was named a first-team All-Star 5 times, and became a first-ballot inductee into the Hockey Hall of Fame. Beyond the numbers, Dryden cultivated a unique on-ice persona. Standing 6 feet 4 inches during stoppages in play, he would adopt his iconic pose, leaning calmly on his upright stick, appearing detached and contemplative. This wasn't a lack of focus. It projected supreme confidence and intellectual control. It was the stance of a philosopher king surveying his domain from the crease. In another surprising move, Dryden sat out the entire 1973-74 season due to a contract dispute. Rather than a conventional holdout, he executed a masterstroke of negotiation. He announced he was joining a Toronto law firm as a legal clerk for a modest salary of $135 a week. This was possible because he had been pursuing a law degree at McGill University, graduating with his LLB in 1973. By possessing a credible alternative to playing hockey, Dryden fundamentally altered the power dynamics. The impact of his absence provided proof of his value. That season, the Canadiens allowed 56 more goals and suffered a first-round playoff elimination. He returned the following season with a better contract. During his tenure with the Canadiens, Dryden was also a central figure in transformative international hockey moments. He was a member of Team Canada for the legendary 1972 Summit Series against the Soviet Union, a politically charged clash that shattered Canadian assumptions. He was in goal for Canada's stunning 7-3 loss in Game 1, a result that sent shockwaves across the nation. This experience was complemented by the classic encounter on New Year's Eve 1975, when Montreal played the touring Soviet Central Red Army team in a 3-3 tie, widely regarded as one of the greatest hockey games ever played. These high-stakes international contests forced him to adapt and reevaluate, experiences he would later analyze with great insight. 4 years after retirement, Dryden published his memoir, The Game, a work that redefined sports literature. The book eschewed traditional chronological narrative, instead structuring itself around a single week during his final season, using daily routines as a framework for profound reflections on his entire career. The book offers vivid portraits of legendary teammates and deconstructs the pressures of professional sports, the psychology of goaltending, and hockey's role in Canadian identity. The critical reception was overwhelmingly positive, with reviewers praising its eloquence and intellectual honesty. It was nominated for a Governor General's Award and remains a foundational text for understanding the modern athlete. But why did he retire at 31, at the absolute peak of his profession? His reasons were complex and deeply philosophical, rooted not in physical decline but in existential weariness. He articulated this as success fatigue, writing that the team had won too often for too long. This relentless success bred anxiety and an inability to appreciate the present moment. More profoundly, he wrote about a diminishing sense of purpose. In an athlete, it is not the legs that go first. It is the enthusiasm that drives the legs, he explained. He went to practices and worked as hard as ever, but his motivation was different. Where once he felt joy, now he felt joy mixed with grim desperation. A crucial element was his growing sense of irrelevance on such a historically dominant team. He recounts playing poorly in games that the Canadiens still won handily, a realization he found deeply demoralizing. The very thing athletes strive for, consistent, overwhelming victory, had become a source of alienation. The lack of challenge and the feeling that his individual excellence didn't matter to the ultimate outcome eroded the meaning of the enterprise. Dryden's retirement wasn't a retreat from failure, but an intellectual rejection of a form of success he found existentially hollow. It was an act of honesty about the nature of motivation and purpose, a search for different meaning that repetitive dynastic success could no longer provide. After hockey, Dryden proved his retirement wasn't about giving up but about moving toward new challenges. He became a successful author and television commentator, returned to the NHL as president of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and entered federal politics. As Minister of Social Development, he spearheaded the creation of Canada's first-ever universal early learning and childcare system, securing bilateral agreements with all 10 provinces. Ken Dryden's journey through multiple distinct careers offers a compelling portrait of a Canadian Renaissance man. His true legacy lies not in any single accomplishment, but in his consistent demonstration that life in sport can be a foundation for broader engagement with intellectual and public life. He inverted the typical athlete's career arc, prioritizing education at critical junctures and leveraging his athletic platform to explore complex ideas about culture, identity, and society. From the backyard rink in Islington to the classrooms of Cornell, from the legendary crease of the Montreal Forum to the front benches of the House of Commons, Dryden's path was defined by a restless intellect and refusal to be confined by convention. He didn't just play the game, he analyzed it, wrote about it, and ultimately sought to apply its lessons to shaping a better society. Ken Dryden proves that a legacy isn't measured in years, but in impact. If you enjoyed this look into one of hockey's greatest minds, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories from the world of sports. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.